Well, good evening, folks. Welcome back to the farm. It's going to be a bit of a hair straight back evening here. I got to get hooked on the stock trailer and head down to the field, round up some lambs out of the forest because I think it's time for them to come up and out of the forest and move back in behind the barn here. And I'll fetch them up. I got one hay bale left from last year, so I'll fetch them that up. And we feed them a little bit of grain until I can get a spot at the auction mart here for them. But last night, it was windier than all heck last night, so I didn't take any footage. But last night I did go down there with the stock trailer and pulled up the ewes and cut out 5 ewes that, well, their time is done here. Let's just say that. And you know what? They're going to go to the auction mart. Whatever happens to them, happens to them. It's a little bit sad because Mavis is in that lot and Gertrude is in that lot. And they are the last 2 of the originals, the first flock of sheep that we bought in 2017 when we first moved out here. So they're going to be gone, and it's going to be basically a whole new crew. All right, so I'm down here by the corrals, and these old corrals, they're not really good for much, but they are kind of handy. Like the trailer backs right up to the gates there. I got some 10-foot security panels with some mesh that go over the existing cattle, or I think they were buffalo gates at the time. So the 10-foot panel works really good in there. I can use the little corral to catch the sheep and then running everybody up in the alleyway here. But I'm surprised the lambs didn't come up like to the back gate like they usually do. So I'm going to hop the fence and go for a wander and see if they'll follow me into this corral here. Of course, I got ewes bellowing away like crazy there because they think they're missing out on some amazing snack or something. I'm not sure. It's funny, my wife just phoned. She said, is there a reason why there's 5 sheep in the yard? I said, like, in the yard? And she's like, yeah, like in the front yard by the doghouse. And I literally just left the yard and drove down here. And there weren't 5 sheep there. And I can see a whole pile of sheep here on the other side of the trees. Oh yeah, it looks like some are on the wrong side of the fence. Interesting. Well, we'll go open the gate and make them come back in here and then go into the corrals, and maybe these noisy buggers would just, but they're too spoiled. They get too much grain. Come on, lammy lambs. Hello, lammy lambs. Like the Pied Piper of sheep. Well, I got everybody back on the right side of the fence except for potentially the ones that are in the yard site right now. And close that gate up. I'm not sure where they got across because I patched some fence up here the other night, and I don't see where they've been pushing underneath. I'm not sure, but I tell you, I'm done with them. I'm done because they're at that stage now where they're just causing trouble. And sheep generally, I always kind of preferred sheep because they don't wreck the fence the way cows do. Well, they wreck the fence, they just don't do it the way cows do. So, come on, sheepy sheeps, let's go. Come on, sheeps. Come on, sheepy sheeps. That don't put you to sleep, I don't know what will. Well, I got about 10 on the trailer. What a hell of a time I had. This batch certainly didn't go as well as last year's batch. And I needed both hands to just grab wool and load and chuck onto the trailer. These 2 are still not captured, so I've got this corral empty. Of course, the dog's got to be where he's not supposed to be. The gate's open. I'm going to try and come around, take a bit of a wide berth, and see if I can run him down this fence line and have him go in there. Fingers crossed. The challenge is when sheep's getting away on you and you want to go around it, it really doesn't have to move that hard or that fast. When you're bushwhacking through this stuff to try and get around them, you basically just got a gentle mosey and they're gaining ground on you. They're 2 fairly decent sized lambs too, so I do want to catch them because they'd be good ones to send to market for some of our direct sales that are coming up here right away. Come on, sheepy sheeps. Let's walk right through the gate. Oh, there we go. See that? Now, there's no getting away now. Right, Ranger? Yeah, there's no getting away now. Come on, sheepy sheeps. Up you go. Up you go. Up you go. You figured out there's a grain treat in there. Maybe a couple more of you will go. Well, I'm back up in the yard site, and sure enough, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheep. Good thing I got a pail of grain in the back of the truck. We'll get them scooped up into the barn here. Come on, sheepy sheeps. Come on. Let's go get a little snackaroo. All right, I'm on my way to the shop to go get the pink marker. I already got the blue one. We're not going to assume anybody's gender today. We're actually going to go underneath and have a quick check just to be sure. And they'll get a color marking. I'm blue by default, with the exception of one of the rams we are going to keep as a replacement. And all the other boys are going to go. And then pinks are going to have to be graded because there's a few that are, you know, they got good growth, good genetics that we're going to keep back to replace the 5 that we set aside. And so we want to make sure that they get identified as keepers and get put back down there with the rest of the ewes. And then any of the pinks that don't make the fancy check mark can go over here with everybody that's going to the sale yard. Now I managed to do this quite successfully yesterday just in the back of the trailer because there's 2 sides, front and the back in the trailer. And so I used that to kind of sort and shimmy some folks around. I had the trailer backed up to the barn door closed, so even if something got away on me, I still had containment. And I mean, it worked. So we're gonna try it again. Maybe it'll work twice. I sure hope so. All right, so my first load, I've got the boys sorted. I've got the girls sorted. There's one boy in there with double stripes. That's the ram lamb that I want to keep. And then, so I'm gonna let these fellas out into the barn and then out into the big field, and they can go and graze out there. And then and I've got these few that were randomly in the yard. They're in that pen. So we're gonna have a little gender reveal party for them too. And then decide what stays and what goes, I guess. There, go frolic and have the time of your life. All right, the trailer's all loaded up with all girls. So we're gonna head back down to the dugout pasture, drop off the girls, pick up what's left of the lambs, come back and sort all over again. And then I gotta get started on the honey-do list. It's funny because Carmen knew she was working this night shift for some time. And so every day she's been like, oh, hey, the girls are gonna go for a sleepover. So seeing as how you don't have to put the kids to bed, can you do this? And then every night it's, oh, can you also do this? Can you also do this? And so tonight I've actually got like a list of like 17 things. I gotta sort sheep, I gotta get the electric netting, I gotta wash the dishes, I gotta do the laundry, I gotta pack a bunch of groceries downstairs. And you know what? There's probably 3/4 of the list that I've just completely forgotten. And she's gonna get off night shift tomorrow, and I guarantee she's gonna pick on one of those things. It doesn't matter how much of the list I get done, whatever I don't get done that was on that list that, you know, has maybe slipped my mind, is going to be the one thing she's going to be like, hey, you didn't have it to take care of any kids last night. You had no bath time, you had no supper time, you had no story time. Like, how come you didn't get this done? But it doesn't matter what you take away. There's still just the same amount of hours in every day, and that's, you know what, I'm going to get done what I can get done with what daylight I have available, and then we're gonna run out of daylight. Then I guess I'm gonna go start on laundry and dishes. All right, girls. Time to come on out. What you doing there? You like going for some grass? I'll buy you lunch. There you go. So one thing you got to watch, well, the first thing that happens when you introduce the sheep to a new paddock, you would think they would go find all the tasty bits, but they don't. The first thing they do is they find out how in the hell they can escape out of that. It doesn't matter how lush, how rich, how sweet the grass is. They're going to go and say, where can I get out of here? So I put them in that dugout pasture just because there's a water source in there, and that's going to keep them occupied for the 15 minutes it's going to take me to go up and load these other lambs. And then I can basically open a series of gates and get those ewe lambs in with the mature ewes, and then they can all stay down there for the night, and then there should be no shenanigans. I don't want to leave them in here overnight because, yeah, like I said, they'll belong to the neighbor by morning for sure. So I just realized that I left my bucket of grain in the barn up top, and so I'm gonna try and get these lambs onto the trailer, but there's no treats to tempt them or anything like that. And so I don't know, there's no baby to sacrifice or anything. There's no carrot to dangle. There's nothing here. So we're just going on good luck. Good luck getting them in the trailer. So as it turns out, I'm just looking for two. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 there. I only need 2 females that are on the bigger side to make an even 26. We got 1 for every letter of the alphabet, which would be kind of cool. But I don't know if I'm going to get there. I don't even know if I'm going to get them on the trailer. Here goes nothing. Come on, sheeps. Go on. Come on. Make your way up there. Come on. Back you go. Oh, you dirty bugger. See, this is why these are the last ones. This is why the guy needs a bucket of grain, is because they just want to scatter. So they need gentle pressure applied in a oscillating fashion, back and forth and back and forth. And that's why, Heeler's not really a good dog for this, because they're all piss, vinegar, and teeth. Whereas a collie's way better at this. But I don't have one of those. I've just got me. So I have to act like a border collie. I'm not going to bite anybody in the ear, but at least they're in the alleyway now. That's a start. But they want to do shenanigans. Sheep are idiots. I don't know if I said that before, but yeah, these two as well. They're idiots as well. Well, sometimes you have to admit defeat, and I'm just not going to get it by myself. I need a couple more panels and a couple more arms and legs, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to get them where they're supposed to be. So this is going to have to wait. I'm going to open the gates back up. They can go back out into the forest. And they don't get no treats. They don't get no day at the spa. They don't get no bucket of grain. But they win today, unfortunately.